A day doesn't go by without seeing some new productivity tool come across my radar. Most recently, it's been Notion. And while Notion seems great in so many ways because it's so powerful, it also seems to check so many of the same boxes that every other productivity tool checks.
Notion lets you build what you want in a productivity tool. Need a calendar? Notion has it. Need some task lists or ways to manage projects? Notion has you covered. Looking for an Evernote replacement? Well, you can use Notion for that too. I've even seen Notion tutorials showing you how to set up a bullet journal system in software.
It is Francesco here. Welcome to the Keep Productive YouTube channel. On today's video, we are diving into how to create a bullet journal inside of Notion.
While Ryder does say that bullet journal is a tool and software is a tool, so use whichever one that works, it seems fairly problematic to me to stick a specifically analog tool into a digital system. For a long time, I fell into looking for the best digital tool for me. I tried Noseby, Todoist, OmniFocus To Do, and many other applications. They all had some good things about them and some bad things. Nothing touches OmniFocus in the review department, and Sorted has a very interesting timeline feature for your tasks.
Now, each time I changed productivity tools, I learned a bit more about what I really valued in a productivity tool. One of the things that was great about To Do was that by default, it didn't show you a task that was due until the time you said you could work on it. So not just every task for the day, but only the tasks that you could do at a certain time of day. When I switched back to OmniFocus for a bit, I was able to reproduce this in a perspective, which was great. I only learned this because of To Do. Now, unfortunately, what happened was that each different task management software was me looking for a mythical unicorn that would somehow solve my overwhelm, just because it was a piece of software.
A month or so would go by and I'd realize that I had 400 items in different projects and feel an overwhelming burden to do them.
Each of these tasks that got added seemed useful at the time, but looking at my life today, I had no idea how I would do any of them. The problem with digital task managers is also one of the biggest benefits. They make it so easy to put any task in. They make it so easy to put a task in and then defer the date to the future. You are therefore deferring the decision on its value simply by being able to enter it so easily. It's a low value task to enter, so not a lot of friction to enter, so you add the task to your task manager instead of making a decision about it.
Yet a year later, we have a list of 1,000 or more books that are interesting. When it comes time to choose your next book, we spend a ludicrous amount of time trying to figure out which of the 1,000 books is the best thing to read now. Each item recorded in your task manager is a window into your ideal self. You want to be the type of person that would read research papers, so you put them in your education project.
You want to be the type of person that does tasks around the house, fixing things up. But then you spend a day when you could do these things not doing it. We all do this. We all fall victim to a task list that continues to grow and grow and grow. We all fall victim to moving tasks forward as if our mythical future self will have more time than we do today. Future you has no more time, but as Homer Simpson says,
"That's a problem for future Homer. Man, I don't envy that guy."
Because I recognized this tendency in myself, I moved to a bullet journal. While maintaining a list thousands long of books is an easy task in Todoist, it takes work in a bullet journal. Instead of that list carrying over without effort, you have to move it between notebooks as you move to your next journal. This friction is freeing. In last week's post, I talked about how trying to speed up my reading meant I read less. I understood less by trying to make my notes more efficient. I traded effectiveness for speed, and I was worse off for it. Just like a quote from a book is only worthwhile if you're going to take the time to write it down with a pen, your list of books only has value to you as you take the time to transfer it and read them. When it feels laborious, you have an anchor, not something that's going to make you a better person. The act of migration from day to day, week to week, month to month, and journal to journal acts as a filter because it's not easy. And it takes time to write down all the things you should be working on. It takes time to transfer that list of house tasks. It takes a lot of time to move the 1,000 books over into the custom categories you made for them when you spent an entire afternoon cataloging the books you own and haven't read yet. Man, that was a waste of time. As I spend time in migration, I'm stuck with the same feeling of wasted time with things that I'll migrate. It feels like a burden to migrate my 5 different pages of books, so I sort them down to the vital few. For 2019, I decided that I'll read topically and look through my library to find the most interesting books in a given category for a month. That means each month I'll generate a list of 3, maybe 5 books to read. If I don't finish them, they must re-qualify for the next month's list.
Friction is why I choose to use a bullet journal, because it creates space. The simple fact of needing to track your tasks by hand, migrating them over and over, means that you're going to evaluate whether it's worth even moving them. Now, I am not saying that you have to use a bullet journal, but what I am saying is you need to be careful about trading effectiveness and efficiency. You need to be focusing on effectiveness, not just efficiency. Because the simple fact is, if you can get more effective work done day after day, week after week, month after month, at the end of the year, you're going to have so much more value done than someone that simply went for efficiency.
If you like this video, I wrote a book all about analog productivity. To support my writing, to support my podcast, my videos, grab a copy. You can find it at curtismchale.ca/recommends/analog-productivity.